This is Shana,
And Kris.
and we are Bad Queers. If you came out of the closet and got put in a box of stereotypes you don't belong to, then welcome to the Bad Queers Club.
All right, this week in Queer Urban Dictionary, I have preference. Preference. A preference is a specific set of desires people have in romantic, emotional, and or sexual partners. My sentence is people's sexual orientations are not preferences, but they can have preferences, as an example, having a type, in the people that they become involved with. People can have their own preferences, but should consider examining why they hold these preferences in order to make sure they are not reproducing inequalities.
All right. My Queer Urban Dictionary word of the week, I don't even know if this is actually a word. I saw it on a tweet. So that's what
Seems
we're going to
legit.
go with. It feels legit to me. They could use it in a sentence, so I'm going to use it in a sentence. So my Queer Urban Dictionary word of the week is subwoofer. Subwoofer is someone who identifies as a bottom and a furry. So my sentence is, I got some sweet music to make with my subwoofer tonight.
I see what you did there.
Thank you.
I see what you did there.
Really proud of that. Really proud of
I
that.
like it. Speaking of
Ah,
proud.
thank you.
Speaking of proud.
Speaking of
Excited.
proud. Joyous,
Giddy, if you will.
overjoyed,
Overjoyed.
elated.
All of it. Yeah.
We have a guest on our show who is not only a friend in our head, but now hopefully is our friend in real life. Deidree Golbourne is on our show today. We're so excited. So
Yeah.
Deidree, on the responsible side, is a financial advisor called Daydream Finance, spelled with their name, which is spelled DEI. And not only are they a financial baddie, you have probably seen Deidree dancing with Ellie the Elephant on some sort of video because Deidree is also a big fan of the WNBA and has been deemed this year as a WNBA influencer, and is a big fan of the New York Liberty. So if you've seen Black person with dreads dancing with Ellie the Elephant, that is most likely Deidree. So this is a multifaceted Renaissance human, if you would, cultural historian, orator, creator, photographer, DJer, dark liquor sipping, all of the things that you could ask for from Deidree is them. And we could not be more excited to have them on the podcast.
Deidree, thank you so much for joining. We were giddy once you reached out and to schedule you to come on. Thank you so much for joining us.
Such a pleasure. I'm sorry. You're going to find out how fucking dramatic, how ridiculous I actually am in all faculties of my life.
I mean, if nobody hasn't seen you dancing with Ellie the Elephant yet, I feel like that's the prime description to say that's what it is.
You know what? A lot of the time that happens, I am not under the influence. I am like, when I'm watching the game, I'm like very calm. I'm like trying to make sure that people are not fouling Pennsylvania Hamilton.
Okay.
Like, I'm in the zone. And then this, imagine like a giant gyrating elephant just comes. And that's how a game goes.
Can't turn it down.
No.
Giant gyrating is the acronym of the century. Thank you so much.
So Deidree, tell us about you, your upbringing, and your hometown.
Okay, so I am from Long Island. I went to a predominantly Black, West Indian, very much cultured, I would say middle school, high school. We were reading Toni Morrison and Malcolm X and stuff like that was a part of our day-to-day curriculum. But the biggest thing that stood out to me, we were a very athletic school. I ended up, I think, was second in the federation for discus. Was it discus? No, it was for discus. No, it's second in the state. And I ended up in the federation for discus in New York State. And I did shot put, discus, hammer, and weight throw when I went to the University of Buffalo before my mom passed away. And then after that, I became the president of the Black Student Union. So we were Negroes throughout all areas of our lives. And now I'm like a full adult, like, wow, a lot of this really shaped who I am and my confidence as I got a lot older.
Yeah, that's amazing to have not only Black literature in the curriculum while you're growing up, but then a big athletic school. So what were, in addition to track and field events, what other sports did basketball immediately stick out to you, or what are some
Funny
other sports
enough,
that you love?
I watched a lot of basketball. I think as a New Yorker, every kid grows up and they're a Knicks fan.
Hmm.
I knew of the Liberty, but that was when I was coming into age of like fully understanding basketball. That was around the time that you started to see the league, the WNBA especially go through like it's, some teams were folding and different things were impacting. And the Liberty
Yeah.
were like sent to like the Prudential Center and then they were in Westchester. So it was really hard for the normal fan to go to a game unless there was like, somebody bringing you when I was younger. So I grew up just watching and loving basketball. And then when I went to the University at Buffalo and I was no longer an athlete, but I was very much a supporter of the athletic department, Coach Jack, shout out to Coach Jack, who was the coach of the University at Buffalo's women's basketball team. And then she's now at the University of Syracuse, where she is actually in their Hall of Fame. And she was just like, you just got to get in the arena and I promise you, you're going to love it. And that's how I've always felt to this very day about all parts of women's basketball. Like there's a lot of hearsay, and then don't even get me started on what people say on social media. But once you get in the arena, once you really experience it and understand how technical it is, you fall in love.
Shout out Coach Jack.
Yeah.
I was like, it is very true about getting into the arena and just actually experiencing the space. And Barclays Center is on my list because I have a friend who lives down the street. So it's like unacceptable if I don't make it to a game and have a good time at the space. But how would you describe it for folks who have not gone to a New York Liberty game? How would you describe it?
Ooh, Lord have his mercy. It's thrilling to say the least. I will say that the Liberty, but particularly the Barclays Center staff, do a really good job at making sure that people feel welcome. New Yorkers were a little, hustle, we're a little, I would say brash, definitely crass, definitely will say what we got to say to your face. But I will say inside the Barclays Center, if you treat everybody with respect, they'll make sure that, they remember your name, they say hello. It's a lot of hugs and kisses. But then you get to the game, you forget that you're actually at a game. And then it's like, oh, I saw Stewie and Essie McFord just like going at it on the court. I'm like, so nobody sees this? And people are saying that, hip checks are the bad things these days. I'm like, I've seen girls fight on this court like nothing has happened. But the environment is, and if you sit courtside,
which you do,
Lord, which I do, it is a little expensive. I'm not gonna lie. It's $8,000 a seat, and I have 2 seats. And that's if you sit to the left. If you sit center, it's $10,000 a seat. But I don't even know, man. You can have one hell of a time. If you're rooting for the opposing team and the Liberty are beating you, hey, at least you got free drinks and some food, because that's another factor that makes it worthwhile.
That's amazing. Before I get further into basketball and the W and athletics, I did want to know, what was your queer awakening growing up? Like, what was the moments or the things that you watched or heard that was like, you were like, yeah, that is, here I am.
Maybe I'm a little gay.
Yeah.
That's me.
Gay.
I am her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's hard to think because I feel like a lot of my life has been pretty gay. And I don't think that anybody put it on me or said it as such. I grew up with 2 very welcoming parents. I'll give them that. My father's Jamaican. My mother's from Barbados. We grew up pretty affluent, very comfortable life here on Long Island. And what stood out to me is that my parents noticed that my capris went a little further down. My shirts were a little baggy. I wanted to wear a bandana. There was definitely a hat over the bandana. I pretty much looked like a gang member at like 7. And they didn't say a damn thing. They were like, listen, I'm gonna let her live her life. She's great. She's outspoken. She's gonna do whatever you want. But I remember when my mom wanted me to wear a skirt to school. Ask, my aunt was in town. Ask anybody. That's a family story about how like I'm surprised anybody in my family made it out the house alive that day, because I was like, y'all not, this ain't about, it's not me. It's not me. That's not my life. Me showing a little leg when I don't want to.
Yeah.
No, I can't sit in a pair of pants. No.
Right.
But I would say that was probably one of the biggest moments for me as a kid. I was like, I just didn't want to dress like a lot of girls did. Not to say that how you dress is the defining, factor of your sexuality or your expression, but I just really didn't want to dress like most people. And then like my fourth grade teacher, I'm like, damn, she kind of fine as a kid.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was like,
yeah.
Some's here.
Why does it always happen in elementary school that just kicks in? I feel like that's the prime
when
time.
you notice something, you're like, wait a minute. Wait a minute now.
A little tinkling. But it was never other girls, like surprisingly, until I got to maybe college. But it was never really other girls. No, I'm an old school. I'm an old head. Like I have thousands of vinyl records. I listen to a lot of older music. I'm the Quiet Storm girl. Like that's me. So like I'm very quiet. Like my favorite artist is Shana. I mind my business. So for me, I've always been also attracted to older women, like women that I know that definitely would not be interested in me. And then when I got older, they're like, "Oh, you're very mature for your age. How old are you?" I'm like 28. They're like, "What?"
You were training for it all along. Ready.
So shout out to the old ladies. Shout out to in my past life when I was single, all the old ladies that definitely would be like, "Darling, sweetheart," and then touch my arm. I'm like, "Ma'am, please." But yeah, so that was, I would say, some of my defining moments. That like no skirt thing was probably the biggest moment, and my teacher. But other than that, it all started happening in college.
Okay,
college was fun.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I know you mentioned it. Like, clothes doesn't make any, real determinants, but it is huge growing up. I remember those battles going to church where it was just like, I think I could praise the Lord in pants. I have a feeling from just scripture and from what I gather, I think he would accept my soul if I did wear pants. But it was always soul crushing to wear skirts. So that was a big thing.
And it, they're good pants. They're pleated. Like, like there's thought and expression in them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'll wear them tight. I mean, if that's what y'all want, but okay.
It's a little cakey back here, so.
Okay. So tell me about that first game, though, seeing the Liberty. And how old were you? And was it still at the Prudential Center? Or
no, it was at the Barclays.
Well, I know it's Barclays, but the first time you went, was it at the Barclays Arena or Center to see?
When I tell you, like,
Liberty?
I'm new in this bitch. Like, I got here like 3 years ago.
Really?
But that's how devoted you can be to something. And I want to show that to fans that you can go off the deep end and it's not a bad thing. Cause it's women. It's Black women primarily. Please do it. It's worth the investment. I went to one New York Liberty game. I went with my ex-girlfriend. It's Brittany Grinders. Think about it. As a college athlete, as a high school athlete, there was nobody that had I would say a higher or larger platform than Brittany. I have seen her at multiple games. I still just sometimes want to give her a hug. I got her a Sudoku book because I read her book and I know that she does Sudoku books and stuff like that. But I didn't get a chance to give it to her at the last game, even though she was across the court from me. But I'm in a game and they do a kiss cam. Now I'm like, kiss cam, they ain't gonna turn this shit to us. They turn this shit to us. I'm like, oh, I get to be a big F word in front of everybody. That's great. So, but if you think about it, where have you ever been to a game that somebody has done a kiss cam and it's been on people that look like you? So I felt very much seen. I'm not even with my ex-girlfriend anymore, but I know that was a big moment for her as well. And that was just one game. We had just went to the game. There was not that many people there at the time. It was right after COVID. And it was more than enjoyable. And I called back next year. Shout out to my girl D, because I had reached out to her on Twitter and said I really want to work with the Liberty. And she told me to contact them directly, and I did. And I spoke to my rep at the time, and he was like, "Well, like, you're a financial advisor. You do all this great work. Why don't you get like courtside tickets?" I said, "I'm like, what do you mean like courtside?" He's like, "Feet on the court." I said, "Nigga, give me two." So I got two tickets, and every single year I've added. Last year we did 10. This year we have 9 just because of inventory. But otherwise, like, we're shelling out a decent, close to, including playoffs, probably like 30K in tickets every year for myself and clients to come and attend, and it's worthwhile.
It's amazing.
Yeah, how did that crossover feel as you were building it? Because you're a financial advisor, like you have a business as you get to run this, but you are also very focused on the success of the LGBTQ plus community and making sure that that equity is still there. So how was that journey of being able to say, like, you made it sound so easy to just be like, you know what, fuck it, let's get some tickets and we're going to be here and we're going to be supporting. But now you're bringing in other people. So what do those conversations look like, and how has that grown over the last few years?
Honestly, I didn't understand it until I'm telling you, this week. Probably last week as well. A client booked a meeting, a potential client booked a meeting with me. And she was like, "I saw a queer Black woman dancing with this gyrating elephant. And I found out from like either Twitter or social media that you also worked in finance." And I was like, I don't know how people connected the dots, but she was like, "Yeah, I needed to make it a point to work with you." And that is such a beautiful moment, but it's that it happened again, and it happened again, and it's been happening this entire week. Somebody booked a meeting today and literally said, "I saw you on television dancing with somebody and knew that you were season ticket holder with the Liberty, and I wanted to make it a point." It's God's blessings, because I honestly just wanted to make sure that I was supporting the Black woman that I saw on the court. I felt that I'm a track and field athlete, and I know the degree that you put your body through just to be able to compete. I still can go into the gym right now and lift 400 pounds and deadlift and bench press 200 pounds and squat well over 300. And I can't imagine the gruel and the grind that a lot of these women are putting themselves through just to do what they love. And I was like, I'm just gonna, like, it's not, it's worth it. It's fun.
Yeah.
And everything that came from it is just my belief in Black women. And clearly it always works out in the end, because look at the result.
Very true. Deidree, I would have thought you were a Liberty fan for decades. So it's interesting that you are a newer fan. But speaking of new fans, what advice would you give if we could redo the season and these new fans of the rookie class? I won't name any specific names because I'm tired of one in particular.
Please.
But if you were to give them any advice before they come into the home, what would you tell them as a new fan?
What I would tell them, I believe in the Adinkra symbol of Sankofa. It's a very big part of, I studied African American studies and history in undergrad. When it's funny because it led to this career in finance, but it's the idea that I have to pay homage to everybody before me before I move forward collectively. Emphasis on collectively, because this is not an individual life that we live. And there were people here before you. So I don't know why you jumping out the gate talking so loudly as if you know things. Maybe you should open up Wikipedia. Maybe you should research. But also very much be in spaces and shut the fuck up. It's free, it's affordable, it's sustainable, it's equitable. Because not everybody wants to hear your voice. And sometimes it's just not your time to speak. So I give a lot of credit to Highlight Her, the committee, Art Chambers, a lot of the girls, women, queer folk that I followed on Twitter that really talked about the game and made it the most relatable. And all I do is just add in funny commentary to the conversation, because that's just my regular day-to-day. So yesterday, Aaliyah Edwards was playing in a game, and this white man was sitting down, and he had braids connected to this cap on his head. And I'm thinking like, this is I went to Jamaica and got braids because I want to be down with the culture. And I just tweeted that, like, not him with his, I went to Jamaica and got braids to be like Aaliyah Edwards. And it's like those little things that just come to mind. But I'm okay with people partaking in the commentary because it's needed. I love the community. It's special. But to the men, to white men, to folks that really are, you just got here, just listen. And as I said, shutting up is free.
It's sustainable too. It really is.
It really is.
It's affordable.
It's affordable. My goodness. What in terms of the coverage, because like we kind of knew that it was gonna, like, the swell was coming, the ground swell was coming, the new folks were gonna come in. In terms of the coverage of the league, is it about what you thought it was going to be at this time, or is it worse than you thought?
Okay, so that's a twofold question. So, do I believe that the coverage is a lot better? Yes. I believe that publications, I was at the draft, and when I saw like people coming, this woman came from like Nebraska. So there's no major player that was coming from Nebraska, but they obviously are coming to primarily cover one player. And that's my problem, is that the coverage is there, but it cannot be centered around a couple of players that are of a lighter hue. I don't think that that's fair. I don't think it's necessary, but it very much keeps up this media agenda without really showing the robust and the beauty and the quality of the class, but also the quality of the league. There are 144 people that are performing their job every night or throughout the week. And for example, if you're going to talk about this draft class, if you're going to talk about this era of women's basketball that we're in right now, I find it ridiculous how you could not talk about Rickea Jackson's comeback in that game against South Carolina that really threw them off. So it all started on the college level, but to translate those stories, translate that media coverage to the league, and I promise you, people will be able to really find and resonate themselves in players. Because, for example, Benajamini doesn't maybe get as much coverage that I feel she should on the level that she does. But when I bring players to games, not players, when I bring clients and people to game, everybody's like, who's 44?
Yeah.
Who the hell's 44? Why is she guarding her like this? I'm like, do you know who her coach is? They're like, no. I was like, look up who C. Vivian Stringer is, and I bet you you'll figure out real quick what good basketball and defense looks like.
Yeah, plus they don't know the battle that she did to get into the leadership position that she's in and all of the backstory. I'm like, the documentary is there. It's on Amazon Prime. The book is there.
She's also the sweetest. She came to, was it the finals or the playoff? It must have been It must have been the third finals game. She is the sweetest. I was in tears meeting her. Sunglasses on, like a G. Full tears coming down. She's like, my tears, like, I just want to come to more games. She's like, I think people forget that, like, I'm older, but, like, I still love this. I want to come to more games. I'm like, ma'am, I will personally fund for you to come to more games. Please, come. You deserve.
Yeah.
I love that. But on the flip side of it, so we had the iconic response from Monica McNutt this week that actually left Stephen A. Smith in a state that we don't get to see him often, which is speechless.
Something you should consider. It's a mode, a lane that, probably would help.
Again, it's also equitable. It's easily accessible. The people can get there. And it was the most man thing for him to be like, who is talking about it more than me? And it's like, here's a list of people who have been talking about it more than you. But with the collective hip check that we heard across the world, how can we continue to try and like lift up the sportscasters that have actually been talking about it? And is there any hope for the men who speak on these topics to get better?
This is one of those nights that I might pour a glass of wine. Shout out to La Crema, who from the WNBA sent me some wine. Man, I'll start with the men because they're the most annoying, and I'll spend the majority of my section talking about the multitude of women that do the work to cover the league. The men, a lot of men are opportunists. They're very much, how do you say this not politely? They're bandwagon fans. Mm-hmm. And similar to how men, they like run to like other, like they just like run to other men, just like, have you ever seen a man take a picture of Drake or want to take a picture with Drake or like any sort of like celebrity that they think is they the are groupies, worse than,
the male groupies?
The male groupies are worse than us. They, in my opinion, I'm just like, where's the pride? Hasn't left the room. So in these moments, a lot of the women that the men are highlighting are most likely white. They are feminine presenting, and they feel the need to talk on stuff to very much align with the general, I guess, feelings. But what is very upsetting to me is that you also can think differently. You don't have to very much like continue these very misogynistic, patriarchal views on the league. You could also just be like, nigga, it's a hip check. Like, like, bro, like, what we talking about practice? Like, this is not that big of a deal. This is a league that people, like, have got punched in the face. Candace got thrown to the ground her rookie year. Mm-hmm. It happens. Also, when you talk shit, sometimes that shit gotta get checked.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. But in regards to the women that have been covering the league, between Monica, a lot of She Knows Sports, Christina Williams, Grady Diaz, Ari Chambers, and the women that work in the WNBA. Shout out to my shits, Ashley and Kiki. Like, the work is done, and it's not that I don't think that people are not paying homage to them. I'm right, they're not. But I also don't think that people care. And I don't know how to make people care more other than really putting it in their face and saying like, you gotta eat it, bro. This is great work. And you really have to like care for it other than just on a surface level, because that's the digestion that people are taking it in, is they're just like, they see what's promoted, a quote, a video, that's it. But if you actually look, and maybe it's because I'm a Libra, I care about depth.
Oh, you
I care about, yeah, shout out to Air Signs.
Oh, yeah.
We care about the nitty gritty. We care about, give me the
context,
the context, the substance, the belly of it. I don't know, maybe that's my mama and my daddy, that I'm gonna look deep into shit. I think that some people, they just want to be on the surface level. That I'm like, and if that's you as a fan, I wish you the best. But are you ever going to be able to get the full picture and really take in the beauty that is this league that has been in place for 28 years? Probably not. And maybe that's your life, and maybe that's just how you go about things. But that's not how me and my folks, that's not my ministry. And I wish better for you, because there's so many stories and things to be seen about these 144 women and folks that truly represent something that is so much greater than we'll ever be able to fully imagine. When we're long and gone, this league and the significance of it will be felt worldwide.
Love that. I will say, for Monica's response, and this week in general, after the hip check, heard around the world, I love that it feels like maybe it has shifted the conversation, or it can shift the conversation, because not only of leaving Stephen A speechless, but really what she was getting down to, of like, you could have been covering this league in a real way, past, just a couple storylines 3 years ago, at least, like, given the power that he has. But to the larger point of, why are we talking about a flagrant one foul at leading the show because of this one person, when there's so much other storylines going on? There are better players. There's an undefeated team. There's so many things besides this cash cow that they keep talking about, which that annoys me. And I know you're in finance, but I'm like, if they say cash cow one more time, or golden goose, I am going to snap, because I'm like, they are. I've never seen
somebody thank somebody for personal flights that had nothing to do with them. Like, if you're going to thank me for a charter flight, my name better be on the goddamn plane.
Come on, at least. I mean, and that's the thing, that's the annoying part of the discourse of the they should be grateful that this person's in the league now. Like that's what boils my blood, even though I am at the point of I'm able to parse through, like, I'm not talking to those people anymore because they're delusional and they're new.
I block at least 1,000 people a day on Twitter. And if you know, you know how hard that is. You have to go to their profile, block them. Then if you tweeted something and people liked it and reposted it, all of y'all are getting blocked too. And this is the shit that's really, like, really, it's a lot of them are black men, a lot of them are white men. But what's the most annoying is that it's people that work in the league.
Yeah.
Not in the W, but like they cover their media and they'll put a little sneak like in on the comment that's really, really far down. They think nobody sees. I caught you, nigga. There you are. And I'll send the tweets to other people that I follow. I'm like, this your bro? And they're like, oh, they blocked his clips. That's how it should be. That's how you gotta hold people accountable.
Yeah.
But please continue. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No. I can only imagine, especially your mentions now, and just following you for the time that I have, but especially in this last year and these last couple months, like, it has been, I'm sure, just nuts in your mention when you talk about things and just try to put people on and joke, but it's like, that's the atmosphere that we're in and why it's so annoying too. For me, because of the golden goose thing, but also because I'm like, why are the rules of competition all just thrown out the window for this one person? Like, we're talking about a hip check, and she actually kind of ate it, to be honest. Like, it wasn't like she flew in the stands or anything like that, but it's like competition now, the rules are warped for this one person. And it's like people who normally I look to that are like, they're knowledgeable about sports are complete. I look at it. I mean, this is exposing a lot of people, right? Because it's just like, again, they're throwing out the rules of just competition just to accommodate one person. So, I know that block button is, whoo, I can't imagine what you see on your
overwork.
I cannot
overwork
imagine.
And underpaid.
Yes. I would rather people expose themselves, though. I am always for people. Show me your true colors. Let me know how you really feel. Don't be covert. Don't subtweet, nothing like that. Tell me what the fuck is going on. Say the shit to my face. But when I saw Overtime, Barstool Sports, but I'm not surprised. Barstool Sports reposted the video and said assault in all caps.
Ridiculous.
This is the owner of Barstool Sports, the creator, also called Angel Reese a classless bitch when that play went down at the end. That led to LSU's championship, which, at the end of the day, not only does Camila Cardoso have a ring, so does Angel Reese. You cannot tweet about Angel Reese. You cannot tweet about Camila without people coming in and talking about said player. I don't feel the need to say her name anymore. She's already got enough. Listen, y'all know her name. I'm not gonna say. And if that people consider me subtweeting or talking undercover, fine. Kiss my ass. It's black. But I am at a point now that I'm like, I remember it was Breonna Turner tweeted about coming into the Crown Club because she wants some spicy rig, and people were like, "Oh, you're just mad because Caitlin's gonna have the spicy rig or something like that." I'm like, whiteness is so pervasive. What's the plot? Are there not other things that you could be doing with your time? Because if you feel the need to get in somebody's mention, I will literally mention something about Angel. I'd be like, this is such a great homecoming moment for her to go back. She was playing in DC yesterday. Like, that's a fun moment for any player to be able to come home. It was also very black in ways that I think only us as black women understand. That she's just like, yeah, like my high school friends, my mom, my brother, my hairdressers. Like, I'm like, that's such a particular and black woman thing to highlight. That like you all your girls that have done your hair over your lifetime are coming. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And people are in the mentions like, oh well, they didn't really get harassed. People were just coming in and doing an interview with them. I'm like, if they're telling you your experience, you should probably just believe them at that. But also, these are the same people that don't believe women when they come forth with any allegation towards men. So I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, very much that. What are some non-rookie related storylines for folks to watch in the WNBA this season? Watch for, I guess I should say.
I mean, Asia Wilson is on a storm terror. When they signed Haynes, Tiffany, I was like, just give them the chip, bro. Just give it to them. Because when Chelsea comes back,
yeah,
they got defense and offense. Like, this is me. I said to myself, like, am I gonna go to the finals? If the Liberty make it, yeah. Am I gonna go if they don't make it? I'm gonna go see whoever wins. But you get to a point, you're just like, this is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
This is kind of ridiculous. Just give it to them. So the entire Las Vegas Aces as a program, the girlies got it. But Asia is on whoever decided to vote her fourth place in the MVP. I don't know who y'all unlocked, but God bless, because it's not. We're gonna be paying for it for the rest of our lives. And I'm not gonna be paying. I'm gonna just be watching and enjoying it. So are y'all. So there's that. I really do like what Connecticut is doing. I have a large amount of respect for DeWanna Bonner. It's hard not to get involved at what's going on between Deidree Carrington and Alyssa Thomas.
Okay.
Not Alyssa Smith.
Okay.
And I'm like, I saw that hand check, and I was like, bro, I've been there. Like, not my queen. That's my baby boo. Come on. Like, you got the wrong one. We can talk about it later, but I'm just saying right now,
right now.
You're not the one.
That's funny.
What are some other storylines? I'm thinking of some other teams. I'm a huge Rakia Jackson fan. I need her to be modeling. I need her to be on off the court. Listen, when she came up in them buffs and had the outfit change, like, bro, like we're not talking about no typical show to the draft in an outfit. We got an outfit change and buffs.
Yeah. I'm glad she's in LA too for that, because I'm like, she's gonna be out
perfect city.
Yeah.
Perfect city.
Literally the perfect city.
But she's technically rookie, but like I
still, yeah, shining some light. A little further.
I'm trying to think of other teams.
What do you think about Seattle?
Anybody coached by a Black woman, I know is going to be successful. I don't know if y'all have listened to Seattle Storm game. Dick, whoever his name is, if I don't know his full name, he is the color commentator for the game. That man screams into the mic like he is losing multiple lives and blood vessels when he is announcing Storm games. He is so excited. Do not let Skylar Dickens-Smith make a crazy pass. You're going to hear this man throw the table on the microphone. So, like, if you haven't done that yet, do that. But I have no doubt. Nneka is one of my favorite players. She's my lock sis. And Jewel, funny enough, we were driving up to the Wynn. We were staying there for last All-Star, and we were driving up, and my friend's like looking around. This is my girlfriend. We're looking around. She's like, who are all these dykes? And we're pulling up. We almost hit somebody, and they're like walking across. They're like, thank you. And I was like, she's like, who are these dykes? I'm like, friend, that's Drew Lloyd. So that's why fun story about Jewel at last year's All-Star. But I'm here for everybody, supporting everybody. There's so many stories. There's so many things going on in the league. There's so much great stuff. And I don't want all the focus to be on New York this year. That would be great.
Yeah. I think y'all have a better chance if it's not. But we'll see. Yeah.
The lights are bright. They're already light in New York. So
This is true. This is true. Well, before we get over to transitioning to our backward pains, we would be remiss if we didn't ask you about Pride, because we are in Pride Month and the celebrations are real. I know that the teams have, their Pride celebration games and things like that, but what does Pride celebrations look like for you?
Not spending $60 on a party and not being inebriated 4 weekends out of 1 month. But that's probably still gonna happen. Pride, man, you wake up June 1st, you're like, wow, I'm gay. I am blessed with this honor. And every other month, it feels like hell. It feels like Jesus Christ. Oh, here we are. But then some months it feels great because it's just like, I'm gay and I'm in a happy relationship and I love my girlfriend. But Pride is beautiful. I will say in New York City, it's hard to beat. There's everywhere you go. If you're going to Greenwich, you're gonna have a good ass time. If you're in Brooklyn, at certain parties, certain spaces, shout out to Raw Honey, shout out to uh what else? There's so many queer collectives here. But a lot of queer Black folk are doing a lot of great things. But Pride for me just feels like, wow, maybe I can be gay and people will leave me the hell alone, but also maybe I can be gay and go and be in more community with people. And it's just a great time that we all authentically should be able to live all year round. But stop charging people $60 for parties, because when did we get to this point?
Mm-hmm.
The Pride, there's always a Pride collection. There's always a Pride this. Why don't you pay these prideful ass people like enough for what we do? That would be great.
Yeah, feel that. And if I'm paying $60, I need a seat guaranteed.
I need a seat. Why is there no liquor included? Yeah. I'm paying $60 to walk into a door
package
of a, and the DJ is somebody that it's probably great, but did the same exact set on TikTok 2 weeks ago. I don't know, dog. It's not really
adding up. It's not adding up. Is there a Pride that you haven't been to that you definitely want to go to?
Well, I saw Queen Latifah, and if she ever sends me a cease and desist for being going as Queer Latifah on Twitter, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But when I saw Queen Latifah and Janelle Monáe which Pride was that? I don't know.
That was West Hollywood.
It was at WeHo. Yeah. So I saw that and I was like, damn, y'all niggas couldn't say that. Hey, y'all couldn't say that it was going to be a Black Ash reunion on
stage. Let us know, because they didn't. They kept that to themselves.
Yeah.
And didn't let us know, because that's something that we deserve.
I wanted to be there up front. Like, I would have been me and my little film camera, like, too. But if I, growing up watching the L Word, I felt that LA has one of the best prides. I've never been to Atlanta Pride, but I know it feels like it happens all year round. And DC, I'll be quite honest. I am a lover of gay men and gay men doing fun things to each other. So it's a great category of stuff that's saved in bookmarks. But I've always wanted to attend DC Pride, our Memorial Day week, our MLK weekends. So we're thinking outside the typical Pride calendar. What does MLK weekend look like in Atlanta? That's the real question. We're talking about Pride. What does that weekend look like behind closed doors?
Yeah. How do they celebrate the King's holiday?
I'm a voyeur, please.
Yeah.
I'd love to see.
You absolutely have to go to DC Black Pride for Memorial Day, though. You definitely have to get down there. Like,
it's hard. That's the one thing. It's hard to miss any major weekend in New York City.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Juneteenth, you don't want to be out of town. You definitely Labor Day as a West Indian, hell no. I know to not travel there. But Memorial Day, it's like that's when we're here. We've officially started. It's like it's never gonna end. Now, if it's any prides outside of those months, I promise you, I will go. I'll make an appearance. I'll bring gay as folk. I'll get tickets for games. I'll do whatever so we can all enjoy outside of it. But y'all let me know, and I will be there. I'll use my Amex points and I'll be present.
There we go.
I love it. All right. I do. Oh, before we go, that was it.
Yes.
When did you change your Twitter name to Queer Latifah? And that R and that N has been fucking people up. Okay. And it's the funniest thing to see and witness again, especially when they grab some of your tweets and put it on like Shade Room or something, or some, swipe thing on like Instagram or another platform, and people like full chest, thumbs extended, say something about Queen Latifah, and it's like, ooh, that R is just always gets them, and it's so funny to see. Like, when did that start to happen for you?
So, George Bush, you owe the United States of America a lot of back pay for the educational faults that you have created by pushing the people, them, and their children forward. So I don't know exactly when I did it. I don't remember. I joined Twitter in like 2016. I was late. I was very, very late to the party. I'm late to most things, but I'm like, hey, listen, I'm gonna catch up. I'm gonna take these shots. We're gonna catch up real quick. We're a part of the party at this point. I changed it, and I just thought it was clever. I always loved that people's names on Twitter were very clever, and then like they just put their name in like their bio. They're like, actually, I'm Chandra. Like that's my real name. And I'm like, oh, so like you're the bee's knees. Oh yeah, you know the bee's knees. Like that's her. But I Queen Latifah is like, if you think about it, when you're a queer, masculine presenting woman that's pretty, not to say that other people are not, but like I would say I'm pretty. People are like, you remind me of somebody, and I don't know who.
Stop.
And I'm like, Queen Latifah. They're like, yes.
Stop.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. But I actually have like a spiritual connection with Queen Latifah as well, that like hopefully one day I'll be able to tell her. Her mom and my mom have the same illness. I grew up watching all of her shows and movies because I'm like, she's a Black woman that looks like me, and her hair always looks great. Mm-hmm. And as somebody I've never
missed,
like just exceptional. But also, what about her? She has a jazz album where she's singing, and I'm like, oh, like so you could really do whatever the fuck you want to do in life.
Yeah.
And like as a kid, I'm like, maybe I'll drop a jazz album. I was like, maybe I'll do something. So I just think of my life that like, oh, she can do everything that she wants and feels fulfilled, and it's not living happening ebony. Like I'm like, okay, I can do the same exact thing. But I don't know why that motherfucking R has niggas so confused. Because people will literally quote me and be like, hey, do you remember we worked on set together? And they'll put pictures of them with Queen Latifah. And I'll be like, Meredith, I hate to really hurt your feelings. I appreciate that you shared this memory with me. But my name is Deidree, and I'm not Queen Latifah. And I don't know if people have blocked me in response to that, because I'm like, I don't know if it's an embarrassing moment for them, but the R does not continue down. Stops right there.
You're like Mare Bear. I am not Queen Latifah.
Well, the icons don't even look similar. You can look at my profile. It says I'm a financial advisor. I'm not an actress. I don't work with CoverGirl. I'm not a Grammy Award-winning artist. I'm not. I would love such a similar life. I love that Brittany Griner and Queen Latifah got to hug on stage. That is my queer Hall of Fame. That's one of the greatest moments. But the girls aren't smart, and that's okay.
Yeah, it fucks them up. It really does. And Deidree, before we go to Back Queer Opinions, tell us about DEI Dream Financial and how you started that.
The funniest thing is that I worked in diversity, equity, inclusion. I was an undergrad, and my first like 3 letters of my name are DEI. Like DEI, but it's pronounced Day. And then people would always be like, "Oh, your name reminds me like Daydream." But no, technically, it serves 2 purposes. It serves like it's that's for people that don't notice this. So I'm happy that you did. That's awesome. So it's like Daydream Financial. So my financial planning practice, I've been in financial planning for 6 years now. It's not very fun some days. Some meetings are harder than others, but we're really, really focused on providing a lot of equity, financial literacy, access, and implementation for Black women, Black folk, people of color. I'm not saying I discriminate. I'm not saying there are people that I don't talk to, but I want to make sure that in our communities, we're really working to unpack a lot of those habitual things, generational qualms, and things that we have to unpack that would allow us to reach higher heights with our financial lives and financial planning. So I'm always here to book meetings, and I do have an income requirement just because I Just have to make sure I'm able to actually service people the way that I want. I'm not a fee-based planner. I probably will be within the next year because it's gotten crazy. But if people need help with their financial planning, even if it's just a question, need a budget, need to save, need to put things in place, I'm here.
Nice. Daydream Financial.
Look at that.
All right.
It's a fun play on the name.
Yeah, it is. I was like, oh, when she said it, I was like, oh. I'm here. I got it.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and shift over to our bad queer opinions, because what type of bad queers will we be if we didn't have unpopular queer opinions? So, Deidree, welcome. You know this section very well as a listener. So, we're super excited to have you be a part of it. And, feel free, again, to question, comment, concern any of the things that we say. And everybody else, that the space is safe until it's not. So I will go ahead and get started. My bad queer opinion is that, again, we've talked about this. It is Pride Month. As a community, as the alphabet mafia that we are, we still aren't doing enough to support LGBTQ plus businesses, especially intersectional identified ones like Black queer businesses or Latin owned or Latin women owned and Black women and all of that. The more intersectionality that continues, the more that we're not supporting. And we can spend all of our energy getting mad at these corporate companies for not having their little pride section for their little 5 minutes that they would have each year. The companies are going to do whatever the companies want to do. So who are you and what are you actually spending your money on, especially during Pride Month, as an LGBTQ plus person? And I really could say that not enough of us are doing the things that we should be doing to even support the members of our community that have businesses. So we got to do better.
All year long, all of our money.
Yep.
I promise you there's a Negro that makes it. And also make sure that all the businesses that we're also supporting are just accessible. My mom was disabled later in her life, and it means a lot to just make sure that there's not only ways that people can hear properly, see properly, but make things as accessible so people can actually support the business in person, online. That's just me. But shout out to all my queer folk. Support the businesses.
Year round.
Mm-hmm.
Said, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's like y'all have no excuse during Pride Month.
Yeah.
It's the bare minimum I am asking you for.
Just a rainbow shirt, rainbow little wristband.
Something. All right. Love that. My bad queer opinion is I think Happy Pride should be the new Happy Holidays. Like you just say it to any and everyone during June, not just queer people. And I have started to do that, and it's pretty fun. You have a couple people that kind of double take it and it's like, I don't care. Like I'm not. They're like, oh, it's like
you're continuing. You're like off to my car, put my bags in.
It's just like Happy Holidays. Like it's like obviously, some people don't celebrate the holidays, but it's you say it, and I feel like during June and during Pride, you should just say Happy Pride to people. It's like Happy Pride, Happy Pride, Happy Pride. And then the people who say it back, it's like, but the people who don't, it's kind of no. But I am using it like Happy Holidays during June because it's fun. It is once June 1st hits, it's not only because like it's not officially summer, but it's summer in our minds. But it's Pride. It's just a good energy. I feel like this Pride has a better energy. We're only 7 days in. Who knows what happens? And Supreme Court decisions are coming. But regardless of that, it's Happy Pride. And, it's cool to just say to any and everybody. So it's my backward opinion.
I agree. I was at Tompkins or our Black party, and people were coming to me. They were saying Happy Pride. I'm like, to me, I'm gay. Wow, you're acknowledging me for my sexuality, and that feels affirming. You just think it as a part of your existence. But like, I know for people that are maybe closeted or maybe not the most comfortable in their sexuality, hearing that from somebody that is also queer is such a beautiful affirmation. So please go tell somebody Happy Pride. You never know what they might say back. It might lead to a good conversation, a nice night.
Mm-hmm. Very much good.
And it's already hard out here. We'll just make it easier for yourself.
Very much can. Deidree, what is your backward opinion?
So I have been thinking about this since I got the idea of being on here. I would like my stud dyke AG folk, please stop walking outside with your straps on. That I don't want much. I'm not here to police anybody's body, what they want to do. Do whatever you want to do in life. Be as gay as you want. I don't even identify as gay. I am a big F word, like SpongeBob holding it up, but like he's like F is for fun. That's me. But we gotta stop wearing our straps outside. And I say we're like I'm including myself so people know you're not left out. I've never done it, but I never will. But why are we going outside with our straps on? And why is it revealed to folks? Live your life. Do what you have to do. But y'all gotta help me. Because am I bugging? Am I wilding?
No, I'm part of your strap down campaign too. Like, don't strap up, strap
Not
down. Just
strap down
strap
campaign.
Down. Take it off.
It feels like a very in the house thing. It's a very
That's
private,
what I thought. That's why when I see it, I'm like, oh.
At the park, at Piedmont Park.
Even just comfort wise, just comfort wise, I just don't understand throughout the day wanting to strap up and just to have it on. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
It'd be like the strap be digging into my hip. It'd be like there's like sometimes a little flap, sometimes it's like in my butt cheek. So I was what? And then it'd be the boxer briefs, and it'd be inside the little boxer brief. So it's like that's all you have on. There's no pants. You're just wearing that with the.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if people can see my face, but I hope there's just. I'm not disappointed, but I can't say I want better for us because sometimes better is subjective. But I want freedom. Freedom from straps outside.
Yeah. Strap down. Strap down.
Strap down.
Strap down. I love it. No notes. Just don't understand. It just doesn't feel comfortable. Like and it's a comfort. This is a comfort campaign. It's freedom and comfort sounds like the root of this.
Have y'all considered?
So fucking funny.
Is it something that you thought for yourself
to strap up and go outside, like to like have a day outside, like grocery shop and all that? No. You know, I'm a tampon person, but even pads like are just too much. So I couldn't imagine walking around strapped up, and not that I haven't spent money on the harness so that it is comfortable for me. But again, I couldn't imagine like doing things in it besides what it's intended for. So like walking around,
and then
I don't get it.
Folks got jeans. You got jeans on?
Yeah.
It's just a lot.
You got to do athleisure with it if you have to, and then it's like, all right, it's enough. Just strap down.
Gray sweatpant.
Yeah, the great. Yeah.
But no, the only thing that I think of is just like, it's just another thing you got to clean.
Yeah, that too.
And that's really, I feel like it's just, even if I was to consider it, which I really haven't, and that's just me personally. Like, again, to each his own. But I just think about the fact that it's like, I already got to keep this thing clean in between the times, and now I'm going to take it outside for extracurricular activities, and then have to come inside, clean it before I would do the internal external activities. Like, I just
for what? Pick up produce.
Are certain things just? I don't think certain things are meant to be like outside.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's special when I strap up. I feel so like I don't know. I mean, maybe it's not special for everybody else, but I just feel like it's like a special indoor thing. Emphasis on indoor. So to each his own though. Happy Pride, I guess.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Shout out to all my folks. We here.
Yeah.
I heard. Speaking of shout outs, I can't believe we've made it to the end of the show. Like that was the fastest hour ever. So here we are. We would never leave you without giving shout outs to our faves. My shout out this week goes to Ladies First BK, which is a monthly party at the Bush Dyke Bar in New York that centers queer, trans women of color, NB hotties with resident DJ Adair. You can follow and support at Ladies First BK and check out their mega pride party that's coming up. It's called Sorbet BK, which I love.
I'll be there.
SORBAE BK at the end of the month. And that looks like it's going to be a time. So I'm very happy that you're going to be there.
Oh, I'll tell you about my sins later.
Please do. Please come back and let us know. We'll have a confessional. We'll have a confessional ready.
We're coming up on that prompt too, where we get Deidree to say that she's coming back on, and we record it, and we have it as proof. So.
I'll be back. I'll be here to talk about anything.
There it is. So,
there it is.
I'm down.
There it is. Got
Contract
it.
to sign. Thank you so much.
There we go. Verbal. Got a verbal. My shout out is to Erica Press, New York City-based photographer, mixed media artist who is responsible for all the beautiful photos you've seen on our socials, with more to come. Now, I'm not a photo shoot girly, so anyone who could take my Travis Scott style posing and make it look great is incredible. So y'all make sure y'all follow Erica on IG at ericapress.jpg, like JPEG, and connect with her about your next photo shoot. So shout out to Erica.
Your face as Kris said that just brought me so much joy. Thank you so much.
You said Travis Scott, right?
Indeed.
Yes. Looking away from the camera. I'm a candid girly. I don't like posing. Like I have a lot of things going on. It's insecurities. It's probably ADHD. It's a lot of things, but I can't, like, posing is hard for me. So his little like look aways and all that. So, but no, shout out to Erica, because I mean, the photos look great. So. Yeah.
All right, Deidree, who you got?
Oh, who do I want to shout out? There's so many great. It's funny that you shout out homie Adair. There's so many great, just New York City DJs, party collectives, groups, and I feel like I follow the intersection of all of them. So I'm gonna shout out myself.
Yeah.
You know, it's we're at that point. Well, I'm Deidree. I do it all. I feel like I'm a multifaceted queer kid. Not only am I a former athlete and a financial advisor and somebody that talks a lot on Twitter, because I take pictures. Wow, you forget all. I collect vinyl records. I spin sometimes. You might catch me, in front of 1 and 2. But I also think that I'm just like a great Black woman that really cares about her community. So if you need help with my financial planning, if you need help and you need film photos for something, or you just need somebody to chop it up with, good restaurant recommendations, you need an Amex referral code, whatever it may be, I'm here.
Stylist?
Yes, I listen.
Wow.
I just be putting on clothes. I mean, yes, and I'm thankful, but I'm here if you want me on other podcasts, if you would like me to be a part of any video, any music, I do it all, and I'm here for all experiences. So you can just follow me at the Afrocentric one. You can follow my financial planning practice at DEI Dream Finance, and you can also follow me on Twitter at the Afrocentric I, because I couldn't put one, but I'm gonna still come up. I'm gonna still come up as the Queen Latifah. Shout out to Queen Latifah, and I'm here to help in any way which can. I'm also here to be a friend.
Now that I was fucking me up, so I'm glad it was supposed to be a 1. So I was like, oh, okay.
They wouldn't let me put a character, and I was like, the only thing I could think that would look like a 1 if it's uppercase is an I.
Yeah, no, now it clicks. See, and that's why we have to have these recordings.
Okay.
Because of the questions that I have. Deidree, this has been amazing and as fun as I thought it was going to be. And you are a Renaissance woman out here, and it's been great to witness your growth, and you're only going higher up from here. And I'm just excited to see where you go with things. It's just been a pleasure to just watch you grow and your commentary. And you've been a friend in my head since I've
truly,
been following you. So like, this has been amazing to be able to record with you and actually meet you in person. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Well, thank y'all. Y'all are friends too. Listen, if y'all are ever in New York, please. I'm a queen of drinks. You see, if I could do one and see, just that's most. But when y'all are ever here, whenever y'all want to get into anything, or if I need to travel to any city, I'm around. But we're locked in now, because this is is this the first time? It is the first time I've been asked to be on a podcast.
Really? Oh my my
I
God.
think.
Listen.
Yeah.
I mean, as a person who's been featured as a WNBA influencer, that is wild. And
Right.
now y'all have the
Yeah.
exclusive here, so you're welcome.
Mhm.
You see the realities of being a Black, queer, masculine presenting woman?
Tell you what. Ugh. I'm sorry. I don't know why strap down came popped into my head after you said that. Just strap down. But no, yes, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We obviously are going to have you back on. And yeah,
Yes.
Finals.
been great.
Finals.
Okay.
I'll be around.
Let's done.
Who's your
Done.
pick? I mean, who? If it's not the Liberty and Aces, let's take those two out. Who are your picks for the WNBA finals? Who are the two teams?
If it's not the Liberty or the Aces, honestly, I think it would be Connecticut and Minnesota. Shout out to Fee. Minnesota looks very good.
Minnesota is
as,
looking good.
As a former shot putter and discus thrower, seeing Elisa Peely throw the ball with one hand into
Like
the
it's
hoop.
nothing. Right. She barely wound up
to
launch it.
It was so
and
casual.
then it was just like, cool. She's so chill in everything that she does. And just recently got announced as another Nike athlete.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So, and that pattern is going to be fire because she's going to pay homage
to
her background and her identity and her family. That's going to look so good. So good.
I met her at the draft and she's the absolute sweetest as well. Her family, I met them at the Pac-12 championship. They roll 100 people deep
at all times because that's how that works.
What's on the sports, like, I guess, travel schedule for you this year? Like, what events are you definitely going to make it to? You going to All-Star this?
Going to All-Star, of course. I'm actually taking pictures at Cheryl Swoop's. She does like something during All-Star every year. And I went up to her and asked her if she was at the game. I was like, "Can I take pictures?" She's like, "Sure." And I was like,
"Hey,
that's always fun."
That's so cool.
I want to go to 3 cities: Atlanta. Where else did I say I want to go to? I always want to go back to Vegas because if you haven't seen the Aces live, I recommend that for every single person. It's one of the wildest environments that you'll ever be in. And then the other city that I was considering, I really do want to see the Dallas Wings. But the only thing give me the full stadium experience. I don't need anybody in these 4,000, 3,000 seated gyms. I need the huge feeling. I want people to feel like they're screaming at you. That's what it feels courtside for the Liberty. It feels like somebody is screaming on you, at you consistently. That may be a lot for some people. It's a perfect environment for me. But if I can see all 12 WNBA teams that are not coming to visit in New York, I would do that every single season. Now going on to 13 and 14 in the next 2 years. So
we're excited about it. Well, Deidree, thank you again for coming and being on the show with us. We are excited to, we're already going to put it in calendar for the finals. And for everybody who's listening, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Take care.